So basically, we had worst of the week, which there's always a worst of the week and several options, but there's sometimes where it's like somebody who we don't want to malign entirely, but still is fucking disgusting.
Yeah, we want, instead of like, hey, you're the asshole, like the thing you did is that thing you did was asshole-ish.
And maybe you keep doing it and it's also still assholey. But so this is not the person. We're about to show a video from Ashama Sawant. The person is Mehdi Hasan, but this is what kind of got the whole ball rolling.
Right. Let's start it off here.
All right.
Absolutely. We always take something away from every meeting we have.
People being pricks.
Oh my God, Pat. He's been working on that all day. That's good. I like it. Smack that guy's head with that dildo many times as we can.
Do you know, searching for people getting hit with dildos distracted me a little today? I was like, it's like, well, I can watch. I know this isn't. Never mind. I'll just
no. There's a lot. There's a lot of interesting results there. I feel like we can add to that intro over.
Oh, we can. I tried, but then YouTube makes you sign into your YouTube to download anything. Well, my illegal downloader wouldn't let me because it doesn't connect to your login of the YouTube.
Got it. I hear you. We're gonna find a workaround. Unlocator. All right. So I feel on some level this was an unforced error, but here is Shama Sawant. I think she was introducing Jill Stein, and this is what she was saying to the group who was there.
The election has already started. Absentee ballots have been sent. We need to catch up rapidly. We need everyone here to get active. We need to be clear about what our goals are. We are not in a position to win the White House. But we do have a real opportunity to win something historic. We could deny Kamala Harris the state of Michigan. And the polls show that most likely Harris cannot win the election without Michigan.
She can't. But probably it's not like a huge motivating thing to say we can't. Like I sometimes am with when you say that to people we've had on where you're like, you're not going to win, but it's a message.
Right. Well, I always ask the question, but that's what I'm saying, but I'm trying to be nice. Like, what if you don't win?
Of course, I get it. Yes. But like, but yeah, I mean, chances are the Green Party isn't going to win, but still it could if everybody who hates genocide, which like who the fuck would announce that you don't? I'll tell you who. Mehdi Hasan just needs to win a debate every chance he gets. So some Yahoo who I don't even know, who's like a, Dem operative, quote tweeted that and was like, oh, they admitted out loud. Then right away, Liz Smith, whom we all know and detest,
Buttigieg's
campaign
manager,
right? And now she works, for Biden. She's the one who wasn't she the one who also had like a fake alt or her alt?
She got caught using an alt,
and it was like some Black African guy who was like, as a Black man, I really love Pete Buttigieg, but it
digital blackface Liz Smith.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she. Quote, sorry. Well, that was another part of it. Oh my God, I'm messing up everything. Yeah. Okay. Quiet part out loud. We are not in a position to win the White House, but we do have a real opportunity to win something historic. We could deny Kamala Harris the state of Michigan, and the polls show that most likely Harris can't win without the election without Michigan. So abandon Harris, which thank goodness for them, because uncommitted has shown themselves to be, as we've been
unmorally committed.
Yeah,
thank you.
Exactly. Thank you. They're basically just trying to push everybody back into the Democratic Party. Trump's so much worse, but abandon Harris is standing by their principles. They endorsed Jill Stein and Butch Ware for 2024 presidential election. The path to justice is long, painful, and difficult, but is ours to pave and follow.
Hear, hear.
right? And they had a whole letter sort of detailing why it's important. Not because Trump is better, you feeble-minded liberal morons. Like, they think when you criticize a right-wing party, it means that you're pro-Trump. No, I would never vote for Trump, which is why I will never vote for Kamala Harris. But here comes Mehdi Hasan, because he had to call this back when he was such a prick, which is people being pricks. PBP.
Yes.
When I
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it rolls right. No, it's because of I'm 3 fish bowls in. When I interviewed Stein, she refused to concede this point that she can't win. So I'm glad her people are now being honest about their goal: stopping Harris, not Trump. I just wish they'd be honest about that. They're not anti-Harris and anti-Trump. They're anti-Harris.
Okay. The goal is to stop them both, but the bigger goal is to change policy. I mean, especially the stepping aside from the Green Party, but the abandon Harris, the goal is to change the policy. They abandon Harris would have been, let's vote for Harris if they change their policy on Palestine.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, they've been very clear, right? Voters have been very, very clear that 55% of Arab Americans would have been more likely to support Harris if the DNC had just allowed a Palestinian speaker, who, by the way, was an elected member of Congress, a Democrat, who was going to just say, we're supporting Harris, but like 300,000 of our people are being genocided and we need to stop this. That was
this is where we are not the Democrats are not a big tent party. They are the tent that doesn't include the marginalized anymore. It doesn't include the brown people who care about genocide, or the white people that care about genocide. They are not included in this anymore. They couldn't even speak at a conference that had 50 people speaking from every nook and cranny of the population, when they know it's going to cost them Michigan. And they calculated at the time it was probably going to cost them Michigan.
Oh, no, they know it, which is why they're all coming out right now, right? They're like, why is Mehdi Hasan focused more on shitting all over Jill Stein and third-party voters than shitting on the actual genociders? Like, go ahead, still vote for your fucking stupid Kamala because you're worried about Trump. Okay, whatever. But like, now, why aren't you right now just decimating them? Like, he was fired because he was pro-Palestine.
That's what kills me the most. That's why, like we were talking about before the show, Ware's comments about him being a house N-word.
Yeah. Right here. House Ninja. Rafid Al-Arir was right when he called you a sellout, caping for Kamala, cashing in on fake free Palestine vibes behind a paywall, condemning the resistance. I smell a rat. We were talking about this before, because I do feel like I wish I would like people who want to hold these offices of power to be like slightly more dignified. It's not like I just feel say the word, like explain why, like what are you exactly saying without the calling him, the house ninja.
Yeah. It's kind of like the thing, I don't know. It's like, this is a weird connection. Sorry about the analogy, but like, you go apply for a job, you should try to dress professional for the job. Even though it's silly, I want that to not be a factor in who gets hired. But like, you're playing the game of the Democrats, you're playing the game of the election, you're trying to appeal to moderates and I don't mind what he said. I just think there's a balance between like, I don't want to see your working out videos. I don't want,
right.
Like there's a line where you're running for president and
I don't want to tone police. Like, I hate that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that either. But
I also just feel like there's a way of saying it that's not just like lobbing an epithet where you're like, because I think a lot of people don't actually understand the distinction, right? They look at it and they're like, well, he's mostly calling it out, but you can't call it out a genocide and still shit on the people. The only, and not the only, a third party candidate. There are other third party candidates, as we all know, there's Kishore West, there's Claudia de la Cruz. Like there are other third party candidates who are anti-genocide. Jill Stein probably has the biggest amount of support as a third party candidate.
Right.
So to lambast her, like, what's the point of it? Is he going to get back into the good graces of MSNBC for that big contract, or like what's going to happen?
I really don't know. I think it's maybe it is just going for a bigger audience, because there are more people that want to blame Jill Stein for shit that watched him over the years at MSNBC.
Yeah.
And they just want to blame Jill Stein. And maybe he has some residual actual beliefs about that, because that's, unfortunately, he's a shitlib a lot of times when it comes down to it. I mean, he's been great on so many things. And the hope was, here he has this new media platform. He's free, but he's not looking like he's free. He's looking like he's appealing to his MSNBC audience more and more.
I mean, we were going to show it and then we ran over last week or on Sunday, but there was, oh gosh, I can't remember his name now. I had it written down. Samdi, he was on the Thinking Muslim podcast, and I won't even do it justice, but it was the whole tirade of like, what are you so scared about with Trump? You already lived through 4 years of Trump. You're going to step over the bodies of 300,000 slaughtered Palestinians to vote for Kamala Harris, who's the administration, who's doing the genocide right now, because you're so scared of Trump. Like, so none of these bodies, none of all of these people's bodies mean anything to you, or like you're so scared of a Trump, like you can probably handle a Trump administration. And it's not because any of us think that Trump is going to be better on Palestine, but we need an opposition party. And if we, as people on the left, line up to vote for the opposition party, the Democrats, who are supposed to be challenging the party of war and economic disparity and climate, like if all these people are doing everything the same but have nicer tweets, and you vote for them, there's no opposition. That's it. So our only hope is to like crush the people who are supposed to be that. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. And
you can
to me,
stop.
the thing is that you're right. Drop the balloons. We need some virtual balloons. Maybe that's it. We'll get some virtual balloons.
That's it. Yeah.
Because I actually built a box that one time up here, and
I know it was
I need
beautiful.
to touch it up because it ripped all the
beautiful.
paint off my ceiling above myself. But anyway, look, Democrats themselves want a third party. I mean, Democratic voters. Here's the chart of a desire for a third party. 52%. The blue line there that is on the upswing.
Yep.
Is Democrats.
Highest.
Republicans are more satisfied with their party, despite this whole fake, Trump's not our guy thing.
Right.
Trump is their guy. There's no real divide.
Yep.
They're leaning more into just having a two-party system, and Democrats are way more on the upswing.
Yeah. And then, and this is to me so revealing, because like if it were just that he is scared about Trump, which I hate Trump, I am also scared. I mean, by the way, we've said this before, but like Kamala Harris is now inviting into her big tent party the people who are the founders of Project 2025, right? They're the Heritage Foundation. So like if you're scared about it, I am too, but like you're not going to get better. You're really not. It's going to be all the same people. Plus she's saying, I'm going to bring him into my cabinet. Like it's all the same. But I get if he is scared. But what he is doing is so pernicious and small, and like I know. We pulled the clip of Norman Finkelstein calling him a sewer rat, which is great. But that was from like April or whatever, because of the way he, was such a liar about Jeremy Corbyn, calling him anti-Semitic. And so then like the Labor Party could use the fact that a Muslim said that, Jeremy Corbyn was anti-Semitic, and, basically he helped crush the chance for a left in the UK. But anyway, Brianna Joy Gray writes this very long, thoughtful thing, and it's already
Reader
7.
time.
How are my Dodgers doing? I remember when you looked me in my black face and claimed your brown children made you more vulnerable to a Trump presidency than I was. Here you are now, millions of dollars richer, after throwing my community under the bus, telling people to vote for a party currently genociding Muslims and Christian Arabs and anyone else in the way of a Jewish supremacist state. You want Palestinians to be grandfathered in like Black Americans, the poor and working classes, and every other group who must suffer under the status quo so that you can get decorum in the White House. Your politics made Trump, not mine. And your willingness to lie about my 2016 influence when I was an anonymous lawyer with 500 followers at the time is confounding. He's deleted his post, to which she's responding right now. You're an independent journalist who has no obligation to carry water for the corporate Democratic Party and the network that gave you the boot, but you still do so by choice. Meanwhile, some of us have only gotten bolder after being fired for telling the truth. Perhaps the difference between us is that I didn't leave the law and pursue politics for money. I left money to pursue my principles. I hope you can find where you lost yours someday. And this is his... Yeah,
but that is really powerful, that's so, and not to knock Ware with how he responded, because I think there's some value in that too, but like the middle ground between them both, where you're not just snapping back at somebody, I think is where Bree is great.
She is, because it's, it's hard to argue with that. Like, she lays it out. Like, if somebody calls you the house ninja, right, then you're like, oh, you're just an asshole. Like, then it just becomes like epithets and people lobbing insults at each other. She is laying out the actual principles for which she's fighting. And then, I mean, this is just so gross. You're now just making up stories about me having lost the argument and having spent the Trump presidency proudly defending white racist Trump voters, which she never did. What she said was, how did we go from these like 4 million people who voted for Obama and then turned to vote for Trump? You cannot just wipe that away and say, oh, because they're racist. It's just, that's a real simpleton response to that, right? Like, oh, they're racist, or it's because of Putin. No, there's a reason. And Democrats never did that autopsy on their failed 2016 campaign ever. So that was her point. It wasn't that there's no racism. Everyone who worked with, in this, this
is the one that gets me the most, honestly.
Everyone who worked with you at The Intercept, the Bernie campaign, and I am guessing, fuck off, The Hill, remembers you as the toxic, dishonest person you are. You don't care about Black or brown people, only about getting clicks and attention by starting pointless online rows. Oh my God, rows. It's a row if it's a fight, right? With others on the left, never the right. Anyways, I won't give you the opportunity anymore. My record on Gaza speaks for itself. And as ever, it was a mistake to engage with your dishonest, nihilistic, toxic self. Goodbye. Gross.
Okay, but put that quote up again. I'm sorry. I need to see that again. Where is it?
It's so disgusting.
Everyone who worked with you at The Intercept, the Bernie campaign, and I am guessing The Hill remembers you as the toxic, dishonest person you are. Okay. Anyone trying to make a point isn't going to put in a whole organization they worked at, and you're just guessing that the people there think you're dishonest too. Like,
just
that is
some shitty thing. Yeah.
That alone makes that entire statement crap. And the Bernie campaign did not think she was dishonest. Even the disagreements at the Bernie campaign with Sirota didn't never call her dishonest. Sirota had some beefs with strategy, and they had different ways of looking at things, but it was never like she's a person of bad moral character.
Yeah.
And so what are these lies that they remember? You know, what are they? What are they, Mehdi? Say what the lies are.
And
They don't
so
exist.
toxic.
You just
Yeah.
made all that up.
I mean, that is so revolting. I can barely stand it. Truly, just what a thing. Like, what? I feel bad for watching him because I do think, sorry, I don't know how to get, I'm having a hard time toggling between things. Oh God, it's 7:05. Okay. He's gross. There were a bunch of people who reminded everybody that Rafit El-Arir, who was, you know, I translate 1, 2, 3, who the poem, I mean, he was killed very early on in the genocide. He was a Palestinian professor and a poet, and he did the, you know, If I Die poem, and was really vocal about what a betrayal it was that Mehdi Hasan kind of like takes on the mantle of supporting Palestinians, which he does. He's actually, I mean, he really does. Like, he talks about it all the time. But what do you do? Like, what do you do if somebody says, if you're still happily, this is 5 days ago, happily supporting Israel's actions in Gaza after stuff like this has been repeatedly documented, which is the fact that, you know, hundreds of medical professionals are begging for a ceasefire and some interference from other governments because they are being targeted and slaughtered by Israel. And he says, if you're still supporting Israel's actions, then I'm sorry, but you're a sociopath. Well, if you're supporting the person who's supporting Israel's actions, what does that make you?
Yeah, but if you look at the quote, he says happily supporting, like that's the caveat to him.
Right.
It's like, well, I'm begrudgingly supporting
the
genocide.
Do you want
but
Trump?
You're happily against it. You know, there is no tangible difference is the thing. And that's, you're either backing the genocide or you're not. And he's backing it, but not full-heartedly.
He's not
because,
happy about it.
It's not, he wishes he didn't have to, but he has to.
But again, like on a personal level, I don't love that, but I can understand that a person might make that choice, right?
Right. But then you don't attack the character of the people who aren't making that choice. You know, I understand both positions as well. You know, I said, that the person that begrudgingly votes for Harris is not necessarily my enemy.
Right.
Not on its own. I mean, they're not helping us, but they're not, they've made a choice in some cases and they've calculated things. It's not the same as necessarily supporting genocide.
Right.
But don't attack the people that won't go there with you.
And just feel like you scored a point, like, see, you knew you couldn't win. Okay, maybe she can't win, but if Democrats win doing a genocide, like no Republican thinks I'm voting for them, right? So if Donald Trump wins, it's not because he got such great support from the left. If Democrats win, it sanctions everything they were doing. We could do anything.
Where does the protest go after Kamala wins, despite still supporting and not changing her position at all? Right. So imagine if Trump wins, the protest grows and picks up the leftists that are now pretending this is not a genocide. It picks them up if Trump wins. I'm not saying that's a reason to vote for anybody, but that's the reality of what happens. The pussy hats come back out. Now Democrats are going to wear the keffiyehs. Keffiyehs, or so terrible pronunciations.
100%.
But then they'll be wearing it. But right now they don't want to because it's seen as something against Democrats in a way.
Don't hurt her.
It's going to hurt.
And then don't hurt the midterms. And then don't hurt the now. It's like there's never a chance to criticize Democrats. Reflect the Sun, thank you. And Reflect the Sun pointed out to me that 80% of IV bags come from Baxter Medical in North Carolina, which has been completely destroyed by Hurricane Helene. And I just heard today that the other large chunk of medical supplies comes from a factory in Tampa. So we have not fixed our supply chain issues. And again, that's like terrifying for people who rely on that. But thank you. You're awesome always. Thank you.
We didn't get to Israel, but I think
we kind of touched on it,
have
and
to
it's
drop
horrifying.
it. We don't
We gotta go see. Oh God, what's happening with my Dodgers? All right. We're ending now, right? We're doing
I think
it.
so.
Yeah. Okay. Really feel like we brought tons of joy to everybody. Not really.
I brought some joy to myself, but it was good seeing you and spinning the wheel and
you gotta take care of your own. Isn't that what women learned in the 70s? You gotta take care of yourself. All right. We are going out on Pat.
Is it not there? I got it.
I got it. No, because I did the thingamajigger. Can you just talk for a second? Just
are you finding it?
Say something funny. Yeah, because you don't have the one that has the rap.
I thought it. All right, it's not uploaded. All right.
I thought it was too. Something is going on but I'm uploading it now. So say something clever. You got nothing.
Strike. Where you at? Strike. Come here.
Really? Is that where it's uploading? I see. Turning.
I'm gonna get a beer.
It's another song. It's long. And it's not like super uplifting. Sometimes we have really uplifting stuff, but I do think that the more creative people who bring attention to what's happening, the better it is for all of us. So that's our hope in this. It's processing.
Oh, yeah. So this is the video. Do you remember the artist name? I don't remember the artist name.
It's Bobby, but it's BBOBBYY. Bobby.
So I appreciate the words he put to the song. It is long. It's not. Look, last week we had a really graphic video that was very, very powerful, but I just couldn't personally suffer through it. And I'm like, if I can't watch a minute of this, I don't want to put people through this. So this is it's not so triggering as the one we,
it was the 1 year anniversary showed. And there was a lot of talk about what everybody suffered in Israel on October 7th with no mention of what was suffered for 75 years before and every day since by Palestinians and now by Lebanese. They've already killed over 2,000 Lebanese citizens and injured 10,000 more. They're targeting again hospitals, healthcare workers, medics, civilians. So anybody calling out this is a good thing. We love you guys.
Cheers.
We'll see you all on Sunday. Keep punching up.
One whole year of genocide. Real beheaded babies with no front pages. Israelis raping Palestinians in cages. US paid the wages. UK supplied intelligence. Elephant in room evidence. Levels of malevolence. Catastrophe developments. Starvation skeletons. Pestilence's prevalence. Trauma inheritance. Rampaging regiments. Degenerates wreck tenements. Weapon test experiments. Leave population to elements. Concentration collate. In a camp where death awaits, a bomb descends and detonates. Disembowels, evaporates. Torsos torn shreds. Bodies, no heads. Girls with no legs on their deathbeds. Heads without skulls. Hollowed out holes where there were souls. Dreams, goals. A father's last cuddle in a blood-soaked puddle. A ghostly grey child hangs plucked from the rubble. Planes bombing. Shrapnel, embedded children, babies burned to ash. headlines without who killed them. Sick systems blame the victims for their decisions, ignore the symptoms of cruel, callous coalition. Psychopathic politicians at the Hague, the mission, incarcerate in prison, never pardon or forgiven. 24/7, 365, one whole year of genocide. The world's most documented genocide in history. The most moral army in the world's military. Kills children, causes misery. Bombs buildings, deforms physically. Media lied deliberately. Propaganda trickery, death upon delivery of weapons supplied artillery, from right to left to liberally, unequivocally. Cold cowards criminally, world stand by, do minimally. This is not a mystery, take it back to history. Evil banality, left horror to prevail. Nothing is illegal if no one could curtail. When good people do nothing, humankind fail. Just a passive tale, blind masses on a massive scale. Last breath exhale, decomposing personnel. Death is all around the smell. Welcome to the gates of hell. Mow the grass, then expel. Escape comprehended. The Nakba never ended as the bombs dropped, descended on the child undefended. A soldier smiles demented, self-defense presented, victimhood invented, words pretend offended. Force of freedom makes you quiver, from the sea to the river. Tidal wave, every killer, every sniper pulling trigger. Every child that you disfigure paints the world a bigger picture of a country getting sicker. Genocide, spread the virus, racist righteous, right to rape riots, pious pirates, existential crisis. There's no coming back from this. Collapse the state catalyst, your own antagonist. Psycho-sadomasochist as Palestine persists. For the right to exist, the right to resist gets demonized, dismissed. 24/7, 365, one whole year of genocide. 1 year of genocide, 1 year of reign. We're normalizing violence, we're normalizing pain. We're organizing silence, making it mundane. 1 whole year of genocide, 1 whole year of pain. Genocide. 365, one whole year of genocide.